We're on the Purple Couch, Purple Cushions, bold conversations with Hollard's Chief Marketing Officer, Hazel Chimhandamba, talking about the campaign, Ensure You're Unsure. I'm Simon Brown. Hazel, before we get into the campaign, Purple Couch, Purple Cushions, talk to me about this.
Well, hello, Simon. First and foremost, of course, you get the unexpected from Hollard. And this is a completely new concept that we're launching into the market from a Hollard perspective, where we're really going to be having bold conversations cushioned by this purple couch.
And let's get into the campaign, the Unsure campaign. I've got a first question, my most critical question. In making the ad campaign, how much popcorn did you go through? And perhaps as importantly, how many rubber ducks?
Oh, it's funny that's the part that you remember. So we actually, strategic creativity kicked in quite a bit, as one can tell, but we made sure that we stayed within budget. So while there was a lot of popcorn doing the rounds on that farm that lovely evening, there was a whole crew in the background making sure that we recycle the popcorn, because as you can imagine, there are many takes that go with it. And those rubber ducks, well, I won't exactly spill the beans on that, but let's just say you can do a lot when it comes to AI and technology nowadays.
Okay, because I got a friend who collects rubber ducks and I thought you had more than she did, but maybe not. Hollard's been around for 45 years this year. What did you set out to achieve when you launched the strategy to reposition the brand, the un of it all? And what did you and your team want to undo, and what do you feel that you've achieved?
We're really just building onto this amazing brand and the equity that we've built over the last 45 years. When we looked at the market, it's very competitive. Everyone's doing exceptionally good work. And we realized that we just needed to get back to who we are, authentically being us. Hollard prides itself in being real and human. And when we just, looked at what the consumers were speaking about, our brokers were telling us, and where we were from a strategic position, it was pertinent for us to reposition ourselves in order for us to remain relevant and continue to drive the emotional connections that we've been striving to drive and have been establishing and developing over the last 45 years. So with the repositioning, it really was around just taking a different stance and challenging the status quo within the insurance industry. And that's how we came up with our Ensure Unsure campaign. Obviously, a number of layers sit beneath that, and I think you and I are going to be discussing that this lovely morning.
We'll get to that. I want to talk about it's fun, it's insightful, creative moments with the ad. It's quirky, it's serious, but not so serious. It's just all things Hollard, isn't it, in many ways? There's a real crisis, but there's no catastrophizing of the crisis. There is assurance and certainty in an uncertain circumstance. Take us through the creative thinking.
So, here we are as a 45-year-old brand wanting to reposition itself and challenge the status quo, because we are in fact a challenger brand. We've always been and continue to be. And the important thing for us as a marketing fraternity within Hollard was to just take a step back and look at where the market is and how we wanted to show up as a brand without losing our authenticity. So for us, it was really around just saying, what is the insurance industry all about at the moment? How are insurance organizations communicating insurance? And we quickly realized that we don't want to fall into the trap of catastrophizing insurance. That's just not us. We believe in availing the notion of insurance and ensuring that it's inclusive and that everyone understands it. And when there's doom and gloom involved in an insurance conversation, you immediately are quite apprehensive about it. And we just want to make insurance absolutely understandable, inclusive, in a way that people can relate to. Because insurance, in fact, is part of one's financial wellness when you look at it that way. So by decatastrophizing, uncatastrophizing insurance, we've been able to really appeal to a much, much larger number of, insurance prospective clients out there, but by just making it a little bit more approachable. And that's what we've done here.
Finances without the drama. I like that.
That's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen some updates to the Ensure You're Unsure campaign. What have been some of your favorite moments from the Hollard brand repositioning a year into the process?
Oh, wow, Simon. I think for us, getting into the Ensure You're Unsure brand campaign territory was really determined by the strategic insights that we gathered. And one of them was that, life is full of uncertainties. That's the reality. And the departure point for us was really about leaning into the great unknown and encouraging all our, insurance ecosystem players to do the same. Let's approach insurance as this huge uncertainty, but round the bend, there's also some great things that can come about in life's uncertainties. So as part of that, we're then just saying with Hollard, we really are there for you. And, you know, ensuring you're unsure is partnering with Hollard to tackle the unsures that life brings. The most exciting moment throughout the campaign period has been how our Hollardites, so we refer to ourselves as Hollardites, and just how the Hollardites leaned into the campaign, received the campaign. We launched it internally before it went into the external environment. It really reinvigorated the brand love that every brand strives to have. You know, it really does begin at home, because our Hollardites are the brand ambassadors out there. So that was the most exciting period for me when we launched it internally, and just the market resonance when it landed in the external space. When you are somewhere, you know, at an event, and people realize you're with the Hollard brand, and the first thing they tell you is their favorite scene. You know, it's like you've mentioned, the popcorn, the rubber ducks. There's just so many scenes, or the truck that, you know, loses its trailer on the road. There's so many scenes that resonate with different individuals, and people are talking about insurance without even realizing it's this thing that's often catastrophized, but it's becoming more palatable across generations and different segments, which for us is a very, very exciting thing indeed.
My favorite scene, it starts with the bee in the crane, because I have a phobia about bees.
Right.
So I'm a little bit stressed, and then I realize it's just rubber ducks, and I'm
It's
like,
just rubber ducks.
the stress fades away, and so my favorite scene is those, I don't know, millions of those rubber ducks that come out on the harbour. I think one of the most interesting Hollard has done with this campaign is those unsures, those big and seemingly small moments that pop up randomly at life. Tell me more about that, and share some of the unsures with us. I've seen a list, and I mean, it's fascinating.
I think, you know, just going back to your previous question around my favorite moment, I think every day that I engage this campaign, there is a fascinating occasion linked to it. For example, in the social media space, where consumers are engaging the campaign, and people are talking about all of their their unsures, their uncertainties, there are quite a few. When you get to a point where our actuaries and the presentations that they're preparing all have these so it's, you know, unwelcome, unprofessional. There's just so many ways of using these as a redaction, and the reality is that, you know, in the English language has a lot of and our intention is to ensure that the becomes a positive narrative when you redact it. So not every ends up positive, so we always guard against that. But the that we have out there that can end up being positive are definitely plentiful and celebrated. You can see what happens there, right?
Yeah.
Uncushioned immediately becomes, you know, untrustworthy becomes trustworthy. So we've got an endless list of unsures that we've been able to play with, and not just as a brand, but consumers out there have also been leaning into it. When you meet a broker at a broker function, and the first thing that hits is, hey, you're that brand behind the it really does warm us up when we hear such things.
Do you cover for all of life's unsures?
We absolutely do. So if one visits our website, you'll see that we cover, you know, life and stuff is what we call it. So everything that really encompasses a human being and the things that they care about. You know, life is obviously a critical piece that we do cover, and then one's assets and items that you love. And we've also, you know, in partnership with i2, we're covering things like cybersecurity, which is becoming quite pertinent. We have drone cover. So there are these, you know, types of cover that are starting to come into the fore based on where the world is going and shifting, and we're there for all of that. Hollard is really there for all of life's unsures. Your business, everything, your family, you.
Yeah, drones, I mean, it is everything.
That's
Cybersecurity.
It's all in there.
It is the whole bit. Ensure you're unsure, bold new tone for the Hollard brand. What next?
Oi, Simon, we've only just started to touch the surface on Ensure You're Unsure. Campaign's been in the market for just under a year, and really there's a lot more we can do. We've recently launched our phase 2 of the campaign, where we're starting to really bring those uncertainties into real life experiences. So you'll now find this orange tape with a number. So unsure number 65, and it could well be a day in Mzansi. Unsure number 90, that's really just, you know, everything and anything that comes through. So we've got all of that coming through, and we're really looking at having a lot of fun in the social media space from an engagement perspective. Hollardites are already lapping it up, and there's an unsure for everything. You're seeing us here in our beautiful campus, Arcadia campus out in Parktown, Johannesburg. And to be honest with you, Simon, walking on the cobblestones in heels is an unsure on its own. And we love it because we're obviously on a heritage site. So we've maintained much of what this was over 100 years ago. And we're also quite big in the art space from an art collection perspective. And just how you interpret the art around you can also have an unsure and uncertainty around it. And we're just saying, guys, let's have a list of all those uncertainties. Let's call them out and enjoy them and embrace them. And for all our customers out there, our brokers and our partners, let's talk about those uns, because definitely if Hollard engages you on those, I'm sure there's an insurance solution for it all.
There certainly is. I'm looking forward to the rest of the campaign. It is a beautiful campus. It reminds me of why I love Joburg. Hazel, CMO, Hollard, really appreciate the time today. Thank you.